So what motivates people? What drives them to succeed or not? I wrote a blog post recently on the motivations of opposing forces, motivations of fear and love. Of course, there's a lot more to it, but that's a good starting point. Other things that motivate people, of course, money, material things, recognition. Studies have shown that recognition in the workplace is a very low-cost, high-return activity. Recognize someone for their achievements, and they are more likely to continue to work hard and produce at even higher levels. And the recognition doesn't even have to be money. It's not the highest form of recognition. And recognition can be informal, such as fellow workers or bosses sharing positive comments of praise, or formal, as when a company has an in-house awards ceremony or something like that that recognizes certain people for their workplace contributions. Hey, it's Tim Patterson. This is Trade Show Guy Monday Morning Coffee for, February 18th already, midway through February, actually past that. I'm talking about motivation and what motivates me and other people. Motivation is often a material thing. We're motivated by getting something. And as Seth Godin often says, that comes down to status. We're all driven by status. We want status within our peer group. Dogs want status. We want status among our colleagues, among our families and friends, and in our community. We're all looking for that. It may be so subtle that we don't even realize what we're doing to gain that status. But when it comes down to status, we chase certain things that we think will give us that status, and often it does. Things that, other people see them, say to themselves, wow, that's quite an achievement. That's a symbol of achievement. That's why luxury goods are so popular among certain parts of our society. And frankly, I admit that's why I would love to drive a Tesla. Okay, that's partially why I would like to drive a Tesla. The other reason, which I think is just as valid as a motivation, is that Tesla, to me, what I've read and what I've seen, contains some of the most forward-thinking technology on the planet. And since it's a battery-operated automobile that uses no petroleum products, it helps the environment. So I like that aspect of it. So I get motivated by that. At least that's the story that you tell yourself when you own one. And it's a good story. We all tell ourselves stories. And I think it's mostly a true story. No emissions, great technology, fun to drive. All those things go into my personal attraction to Tesla. I first saw a Tesla as one of the very first roadsters. It was on display at Pebble Beach. A friend of mine and I go down to the Concours d'Elegance every August. We've done this for years, just something we do. My buddy Rich and I wondered, what the heck is that car? What's a Tesla? And then we found out it was a fully electric vehicle. We go, wow, that's interesting. Let's find out more. So over the years, both of us have followed the company's progress and how they've come in the past decade. Which leads me to this week. I'm on Tesla's mailing list. I'm not sure how I got there. I'm on it. A couple of weeks ago, they emailed me and said, hey, we'd like to have you come up to a Tesla function to learn more about their latest cars and test drive one for an hour and a half. And I went, ooh. I'm not ready to buy one, but I'm certainly ready to test one. I was not going to turn that down. So I test drove a Tesla for the second time. 3 years ago at Pebble Beach, they had a Model X that we signed up for a test drive, waited about an hour, and got to drive it for about 5 minutes on a 30 mile per hour, if that, windy road through 17-mile drive. A little different this time. This time it was a longer drive on city streets and on the freeway, where I got to punch it once. I had my Tesla rep record the drive, and here is an edited version of that. It looks like I'm surrounded by Teslas, which in fact I am. I'm at the Portland Tesla outlet. There's actually two of them. This is the service center. There's got to be 100 or 200 or 300 there. And I'm going to go drive one. I'm going to go drive the S model and have a good time with it. It'll be fun. So stay tuned. Can your voice be on here?
Sure. How do you prefer your steering? Do you like it to be a little tighter, a little looser?
Oh, I get a choice on my steering.
You do, yes.
Wow.
There's standard. Sports mode is going to tighten it up a bit, and then comfort.
Let's start with standard on all this stuff and just see what happens. The whole auto driving thing is, this is fun to drive. Why would I want someone else to drive it, right?
It's great in like stop and go traffic or those long stretches of highway. So this is going to be your drive stock right here. Okay. So all the way up we'll put it in reverse, and then all the way down we'll put it into drive.
Okay, like that. That's
yes,
a double
sir.
click sort of thing.
Yep.
We're in drive. Which way?
So we'll go ahead and head up the top of the hill here and then take a right onto McApp.
So I will want to look at an S, or a 3, I guess, because I'm curious. We're driving the S.
Yes, sir.
This is the S model, what year is this?
This is a 18.
This is an 18, okay. Okay, so we're going to the right.
We'll take a right, yes, sir.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Yeah, when you take your foot off the accelerator, it just kind of pulls you back. That's the regenerative braking.
You got it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is nice for a couple reasons. It's going to save a lot of wear and tear on your brake pads, just because you're not using as much.
I used to work right down there, by the way, Intercom
nice.
Radio. I worked at KGON there for a while. So.
Excellent.
Yeah. Did you listen to KGON?
I have not, to be honest with you.
Classic rock. It's old music.
Okay,
you know?
right on.
So I keep hearing about the ludicrous speed.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about ludicrous.
So ludicrous, this is a 100D here, so that only comes in the performance model, but it's going to drop your 0 to 60 time in the Model S down to 2.28 seconds. So with that, it is the quickest accelerating production car out there at this point.
My question would be, why? Why would you want that?
Why not?
I mean, I guess a couple of times when it would come in handy, but in normal driving, that's going to be pretty rare, I would guess. So we're getting on the freeway?
We'll go ahead and stay in this lane, and we'll head towards I-5 South.
Okay, good. I-5 South, gotcha.
Yep,
Good.
so we'll just loop back around there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not necessary by any means, but it is a lot of fun.
I bet it would be a lot of fun, yes. That's what I hear about when the newer Roadster came out. What did I saw videos of people, it was like I were on a roller coaster. That's what it kind of felt like when he hit the accelerator.
Yes, sir.
I want to say gas, but it's not
Right,
gas.
exactly. I still catch myself on that.
There's no gas involved here. There's no exhaust pipes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No transmission, no oil and filter changes.
So I just hit a little bit. That picked up very nicely. Yeah, I lived in Portland for 11 years and lived in 11 different places. This would have been the mid-'80s to the mid-'90s when I was a much younger man.
Excellent.
It was a great place, great city for a younger man.
It is,
although
absolutely.
I probably like it now. I live in Salem now.
Okay. So once we merge over, that bottom lever there on the left-hand side, go ahead and just pull it towards you 2 times.
Okay.
And that little chime comes on, and the wheel up there lights up, indicating that the autopilot is on.
Okay.
So then just loosely hold the wheel there and kind of let the car steer through your hands.
Okay.
And then you can push up or down on that lever that you used to activate it to accelerate or decelerate.
Okay, so up would accelerate it.
You got it.
Okay. Obviously, it would sense cars in front of you and decelerate once you get to them.
Correct. Yeah, that's going to be part of the traffic aware cruise
So
control.
what does it sense? The lines?
So yeah, you don't mind just loosely holding the wheel there. It's going to be 8 cameras and then 12 ultrasonic sensors built around the car. So the cameras are going to be reading the paint lines, and the sensors are constantly scanning for surrounding objects.
So even though my hands are on the wheel and I'm doing a little steering, it's still going to sense the distance between cars and that sort of thing, right?
You got it. So you took over the steering there.
So,
Yep, so it disengaged it.
Got it.
So you do still have the traffic aware cruise control on, but you're in control of the wheel.
Hit the,
And there you go.
I hit the accelerator, and we're all of a sudden doing 10 or 15 miles an hour faster, just like that.
It's quick.
It is quick. So I'm just curious, who do you see as competitors to this in the next 5 to 6 to 8 years? I just read yesterday about Apple having a car that they've been testing.
I haven't heard about Apple's, but
They actually had either a rendering or a photo. I don't know what it was, but they said they've got 50 or 60 of them that are out there driving.
wow.
The autonomous cars.
Yeah, I know.
These are driving on their own.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah, I know California and Arizona are doing a lot of testing with that. It's still, kind of federal regulations and all that, but
And I hear some higher end competitors come along, like out of General Motors, maybe BMW. There's obviously some others that see a market there as well.
yeah, no, it's definitely kind of where things are headed. We've got a lot of competition up and coming, but I think one of the biggest things that's going to set us apart from all the competition is our charging network. We've got a bit of a head start on that, and but yeah, honestly, that's kind of our mission statement, was to accelerate the rate of the world's transition to sustainable energy.
And the fact that Elon Musk has decided to make all those patents for whatever it is, the batteries, well, basically open source.
Exactly.
He wants everyone to use them because he wants the world to progress, as opposed to
monopolizing Yep.
something. Yeah, no, I think that's great. Yeah.
So you said you were in radio for a while. What do you do currently?
Currently, my job is I run a company called TradeshowGuy Exhibits. I work with exhibitors and manage projects for design and fabrication and logistics of booth shipping, setup, all that sort of stuff. So I kind of lucked into this industry, and it's done really well for me.
Excellent.
Sales and project management. It's challenging, but it's
Sure.
good work, and I work for myself. I like being my own boss.
Yeah, I bet.
And I figure if I'm ever going to own one of these, that's the only way to do it, is to make this company do what it should do. So.
Absolutely. It was just alerting us that there was a car there.
Oh. the car's yelling at us.
It doesn't like that corner.
Yeah, I see. Okay. But boy, it's a joy to drive.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
They're
How do they do in snow?
different. They're amazing in snow.
Really? Because I go to skiing all the time.
Oh, excellent.
So, yeah.
You go up Hood?
I go to Hoodoo,
Okay.
which is up on
Excellent.
Sandy Am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, a lot of it's due to the weight of the battery. Both the S and the X come
It has
standard.
a low center of gravity, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah, they come standard all-wheel drive now, so you can go ahead and just pull it straight in there. Yes, sir.
Very nice.
Good. Excellent. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed.
There's the Model 3. There's the Model X. And the S. As I said at the beginning, a lot motivates me in this business, and the thought that someday I can own a Tesla is part of that motivation. There's a lot of other stuff that motivate me, of course, but that would be fun. Certainly significant. This week's trade show tip, building a calendar. Every trade show you go to will have a place online that gives you critical dates, when things need to arrive at the warehouse, if you're going to ship them direct to show, all that stuff, when you'll set up and so on. So build a calendar around that, and if you're doing a new exhibit, your exhibit house can work with you to create a calendar of when certain things are needed, such as decisions on design and graphics and production and so on. An exhibit project takes some time to unfold, and the more time you give yourself up front in the process, the less rushing at the end and the less stress for both you and the exhibit house. If you're in charge of an exhibit project, start about 6 months out and work out all those parameters with all those partners and sources to build that calendar so you know when things are due, when decisions need to be made, when crates need to be shipped. Of course, there's calendars for the pre-show marketing, the promotion. If you're mailing out something, if you're acquiring promotional products to give away, create a calendar ahead of time. That way you can make adjustments for next year. You say that calendar worked well, or gosh, I need to make some adjustments because we didn't have enough time to do X, whatever it was. So there you go. Build a calendar every year. If you've got a major trade show coming up, smaller trade shows probably don't need quite the calendar, but you certainly need to build one for that as well. And that wraps it up. Well, this week's one good thing you already know. I got to drive a Tesla. Have yourself a great week.